Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Wish Infinite. So just a quick heads up, my YouTube channel's name has changed to Wish Infinite, which was previously Test Code Automate. This is my 35th video for the Playwright with TypeScript series. In this video, I would be covering that how to read test data from the CSV file. So let's start. So first question is that what is CSV file? So CSV file is the file which contains comma separated values. And the Playwright test runner runs in Node.js. This means you can directly read files from the file system and parse them with your preferred CSV library. Here we are going to use CSV parse package, which is a parser converting CSV text into arrays or objects. So here to read the CSV data, we are going to use this CSV parse package, which is a parser converting CSV text into arrays or objects. So now let me tell you that how we can create a CSV file. So here in our project folder, we can create the CSV file at any location. For now, I have created it inside this test data folder. Okay. And to create any new CSV file, you need to right click here. You need to click onto this new file. And here you can give any name with this .csv extension. I have already created this file, which is testdata.csv. And here I have already put some data into the CSV file. So here into the first row, if you will see, it is going to act as the column of this particular table. So here I've put the ID, then first name and last name. And between each column value, we have given this comma, right? And the same thing is going to happen for each row. So from the next row, we have put the value related to these columns. So here the ID is 1, first name is John, and last name is XYZ. And each value is separated by comma. And here, if you will see, for some values, I have put this double quotes, and for some I have not. So it's up to you if you want to use the double quotes or not. If you will put directly also, it is going to get read as the string. And if you feel that you are not able to see this data here into the CSV file properly, so you can also open the same CSV file into the Microsoft Excel or into the Google Sheets. So here if you will open it into the Google Sheets or Microsoft Excel, so you would be able to see the structure like this. So here into the first row, we have given the column name. So see here it is appearing like column ID, first name and last name. And from the next row, our data is appearing related to that column. And each row is going to act as one record. So for now, I have created 3 records. So for this particular video, I'm going to use this demo QA website where into this practice form, I would be entering the first name and last name. And that data we are going to read from this particular CSV file. So that's what we are going to use. And this is just the ID which we would be using for the title purpose. I would be showing the use of it also. Now let's see how to read this data into our test script file. So here I've already created one test script file which is read data from the external CSV file .spec.ts. And here in this file I've already imported the test from the Playwright test module and created this test block where I am opening this demo QA website with this practice form, and then I am entering this first name and last name. So this is our test, right? So here before proceeding further, first thing which we need to do as the prerequisite is to install this CSV parse package. So to install this package, here if you will go to the CSV parse website, so here you will find this command which is npm i csv-parse. So this is the command which we need to use to install this CSV parse package. So here into the terminal, you need to use this command npm i csv-parse and hit enter. So it will install this CSV parse package, and the same thing you would be able to see here inside this package.json. So see under dependencies, the CSV parse package is there with this version of 5.5.4. And once this package is installed, so here you need to first import the fs. And how to import it? So here you need to give this import fs from fs. So here we are importing built-in fs, which is file system module, which provides function for interacting with file system. And the second thing which we need to import is to import parse. So here you need to give this import, and under the curly braces you need to provide this parse from this CSV parse package which we have just installed. So here you need to give this CSV-parse, and then from the sub module which is sync. Here if you will put this /, you would be able to see the sync module which is sync API, and from here we are going to import this parse. Now to read the data, we need to use this parse function. So here you need to type this parse, and from this parse, you need to use this parse. So here you need to give this import fs from fs. And under the curly braces, you need to provide this parse from the sub module which is sync. Here if you will put this /, you would be able to see the sync module which is sync API, and from here we are going to import this parse. Now to read the data, we need to use this parse function. So here you need to type this parse And inside this parse function, the first argument which we are going to pass is this fs.readFileSync is the function which we are going to use. And inside this readFileSync function, we need to pass the path of the CSV from where you want to read the data. So here, if you will go to this testdata.csv and if you right click, so you will get these two options. So from this copy path option, you can copy the complete absolute path. And from this copy relative path option, you would be able to see the relative path. So if you copy this path, so it is going to be the complete path from the drive to that particular file. But usually we prefer to use this copy relative path option. Why? Because let's say in future, if you shift this folder of the project to any other locations, in that case, you'll have to again change the path here into the script. But if we use this copy relative path option, so it will just give the small path. And even if this project folder structure is changed, so we'll not have to change this path here. So now you need to put this double quotes and here you need to paste that relative path. And if you want to use this backslash, so you will have to use this double backslash, or you can directly use this forward slash to give the path. So now this fs.readFileSync is going to read your data from the CSV file and then it will convert it into the binary. So into the simple sentence, you can understand it like this, that this fs.readFileSync is going to read your test data from this CSV file and then it is going to pass it to this parse function. And here now we need to pass the second argument. So here you need to put the comma and we would be passing an object as the second argument. So you need to put this curly braces and inside this we would be passing different key value pair. So first key which you need to use is the columns and you need to give the value of this columns as the true. So put the colon and then we need to use this true. So this is the value of this columns key and what it will do. So into the CSV file, as I've told, this first row is going to get considered as the column. Why? Because we are mentioning it here that we want the columns as true. So that's why it will consider this first row as the column and all other rows as the different record, right? So it is not going to consider the first row as the record. And now we need to pass the second key is to skip the empty lines. So here we need to pass this skip_empty_lines and its value would be true. So here you need to put the colon and then true you need to type. So here we are mentioning, let's say after any line, if there is an empty line into your test data, so it will skip that particular line. So these are the two main options which we need to pass inside the object of second argument of this parse function. And here one more option which we can pass, which would be delimiter. And when we need to pass that, so let's say if into your CSV file, in place of this comma, you want to use semicolon, okay, or any other delimiter. So in that case, you will have to inform here to this parse function that there is some other delimiter which is there into the CSV file. So for now, we have put the comma as the delimiter into our CSV file, which is at every place. And here by default, we need not to mention that delimiter is comma. So it is automatically understood if we are passing the CSV file. So for them, the default delimiter is comma. But if we use any other delimiter, let's say we use semicolon at every place, so you will have to change it to every place, right? So in that case, you will have to again mention it here that delimiter is the key. And then here you need to pass that what is the delimiter. So let's say if you want to use this semicolon, so you need to pass it here. For now, we are just using this comma. So I will comment this out for your further reference. So now this parse function is going to read data from this CSV file. And then it is going to convert this data into array of objects. So now we can receive this array of objects into a variable. So here you can type this const and then here I will use this variable which is records. Any variable name you can give equals to. So here we would be getting array of different objects. And let me show this value of this records so that you will be able to relate that what is the array of objects. So for now, let me comment out this particular part, right? And here I will console log this records. So just copy this records, okay? And here you can give console.log and here I am going to print this records, right, to the console log. So now if I run the script, so here I would be able to see array of objects. And what are array of objects? So here we would be getting one array. Inside this, we would be getting different objects, and objects will contain data from each row. So see here, this is the array, right? And this is the object, which is first object. And here, if you will see, we have got ID 1, first name as John, and last name as XYZ. And why so? Because this first row is going to act as the key for each object, right? So here ID as the key and its value is 1, right? Similarly, this first name is the key and its value is John, which is from this row. And similarly, the last name is the key and its value is XYZ. So this is the first object, right? Where we have got the key value pair. Key is the column name and value is from each row. So into the second object, similarly, we have got the ID as 2, first name is Jim, and the last name is ABC. And similarly, it is going to happen for each record which would be there. So let's say if there are 10 different columns which are there, and there are 10 or 20 different rows. So we are going to see 20 different objects which are there. Okay. And then you would be able to see each column as the key for each object, and its value will vary for each record from these rows. Now we will use this data into our test. And here, if you remember from my previous video where I have explained that how we can read test data from the JSON file and then how we can use it inside our test script. So there I have created this test data where I have created one array, and inside this I have given the different objects, right? So the same structure here we are getting with the help of this parse also, right? We have got the object, and inside this we have got the different objects where we have mentioned key and value pair, right? So the same thing happened here for the CSV file also. So now here into the similar pattern which we have used to read data from the JSON file, we are going to apply the same concept of the for each or for off loop to iterate through each data, and then we are going to use that data into our test, which means this test data is going to drive our test. And if you have not watched this particular video, here I have told you that how we can read test data from the JSON file. So I would recommend you to watch that video. I will provide the link of this video into the description, or you can click onto this I button at top right corner to access that video. So now coming back onto our test script file. So here we can use two different options to iterate through this particular data. Either we can use this for each loop or we can use this for off loop. And here to iterate through the each item of this array, we are going to first use this for each loop. So here you need to put this records where we are receiving the array of these objects. So put this records dot, then you need to give this for each. So FOR, then capital EACH, and then you need to put the parenthesis. And inside this parenthesis, you are going to pass the callback function, which would be having one parameter, which would be label of each record. So here you need to put that parameter, which is record. So here you can put any name. For now, I'm just giving the singular form of this record. So you can use any meaningful name on these places. Here you can give data array, and here you can use data. So it's up to you what name you want to use. And then after this, you need to put the arrow symbol. So equals to, greater than, and then the curly braces. So this is the syntax of the for each loop, which we are going to use. And inside this for each loop, we are going to put the test which we want to execute for each record of the CSV. So let me cut it and I will paste it here. Let me remove the comments for these 3 lines. And here let me put the comment for this console log. For now, it is not required. I have just given the example that how the data will look if we read it from this parse. So now this for each is going to iterate through each record from this array, and then it is going to execute this test for that particular record. And here each record is the object which contains the key value pair, right? And each record stands for the specific row from this CSV file, right? And here into the test script file, if you will see, we are getting the error at line number 12, right? Where we have put the title. And why we are getting this error? Because now what is happening? Our test is going to get executed for each record, right? So here we are having 3 records. So for all 3 records, this test is going to get executed. And here, as I've put the title as get data for the CSV. So for all 3 records, this test is going to get executed with same title. And in Playwright, we cannot have multiple tests with the same title. So that's why we need to give the unique title here. So for that, what we can do, we can use this ID which we have given with our test data, right? Here I've given this ID as 1, 2, 3. So the same thing we are going to use here. So here, if you are putting the title under that single quotes or double quotes, so you can concatenate this ID here. So here, after the double quotes, you can put this plus, and then you can use this record, right? So this is the label of each record which is there inside the array. Dot, and then we need to use this ID. And here we can put space colon so that we would be able to see the ID properly. So now that error is gone. And now we will have 3 tests because we are having 3 different records here, right? Which is going to get converted into this array of 3 different objects. And now we are going to have the different title for each test. So it will read it like this: get data from the CSV -1, then 2, and then 3. And let me show it to you under this testing tab also. So see here, for us, there is single test, but into this testing tab, we are able to see 3 different tests, right? With this ID 1, 2, and 3. So if you are using this double quotes and single quotes, you can use this syntax, right? You can put this plus symbol to concatenate any value with this string, right? And if you are using the backticks to give the title, so in that case, you will have to use this dollar and then curly braces, and inside this you would be putting that different value which you want to use with the string. Let me show that to you also. So here we are going to put the title inside the backticks. So if we are using this title inside the backticks, so in that case, we are not going to use this plus and then the variable to concatenate with the string. In this case, we would be putting this dollar and then the curly braces, and then we are going to put the variable value which you want to concatenate with this string. So here in this case, we are going to put this record.id, right? So now the same thing is happening. We are able to see 3 different tests again. And here into this line number 15 and 16, I have just used this hard-coded value to put the first name and last name. But now this time we are going to put the data which we have just got from the CSV file. So here you need to use this record, right? This record, and then dot, and then the first name, right? The column name we need to give. So this is the first name. You can copy paste also. Dot first name, and to read the last name, you can give this record again, right? Record dot the column name, which is last name. So with this, we would be able to read this particular data, right? XYZ, ABC, PQR, which is there into the third column. So now our test is ready. It will read the data from the CSV file. Okay. And now this for each loop will iterate through each record of this array, and it will get executed 3 times. So let me quickly execute the script. So our test script is getting executed. And here see, it is entering the first name and last name. And our execution got successful, and we are able to see the 3 passed, as it was able to enter this first name and last name from this CSV file. So first it entered John and XYZ as first name and last name, and then it entered Jim and then ABC, and then Mike and PQR as first name and last name. So here, as I told, on place of this for each loop, we can also use the for off loop, right? So let me comment out this particular part, and here I will show you that how we can use the for off loop. So here you need to use this for, and inside this for parenthesis, you need to put const. Here you can use let or var also, but we are not going to change its value. So that's why I have put the const. And here we need to put the record of this particular records, which is the array. So from this array, we are going to get each record into this record, right? So the same thing was happening for this for each loop also. So from this records array, we are going to get each record into this record, which we have passed as the parameter of the callback function. But here we are going to use it like this. So this would be the syntax for, then const, then where we want to receive the value of each records, right? And here you need to put the curly braces, and inside the curly braces, we are going to put the test which we want to execute. So here, let me copy this same test and paste it here. Let me remove the comments, and let me format the code with the help of Alt, Shift, and F. And here, if you will see into the testing tab, we are able to see the 3 tests, right? So this get data from the CSV 1, 2 and 3. So we are getting it from here. And now our test will get executed 3 times for each records which is there into this test data.csv. Now let me quickly run the script again for this for off loop. So this time I'm going to run it with the help of the command, which is npx playwright test. So this command is going to execute all the test script files which are there into our tests folder. For now, I've just kept the single file into our tests folder. So that's why it will execute this file only. Let me hit enter. So see, our execution is happening and it will execute this particular test 3 times. And now execution got completed. Okay, we are able to see this 3 passed here, and I can also open this HTML report which got generated. So you can use this command, which is npx playwright show-report, and you would be able to see the HTML report. So for now we have configured to open the report directly in case of any failure, but as here we are able to see all passed, so that's why it did not get open directly. So we can open it with the help of this npx playwright show-report command. And here see, we are able to see all 3 passed test cases, right? With the same name which we have passed, get data from CSV, and here we are able to see this ID 1, 2 and 3. And inside each test, you would be able to see all the steps, right? Traces, and in case of any failure, we have also configured the screenshot, so that also you would be able to see. So now I have explained both the ways through which you can iterate through each record, right, of the CSV file. Either you can use this for each, or you can use this for off loop. So that's it for this particular video. Let me give you the quick recap. So here we saw that we can create a CSV file, right? Like this, where we would be putting the values which will get separated by the comma. You can put any other delimiter, but for that you will have to mention it while reading it. And if you want to open the same file inside the Excel or the Google Sheets, so you can open it here and you would be able to see it with this structure, table-like structure, right? And here to read the CSV data, I've used this CSV parse package. So you need to use this parse function where you would be passing this fs.read file sync with the path of the file from where you want to read the data. And then you need to pass the second argument where you would be giving the different options with this key value pair. So here we have mentioned the column and the skip empty lines as true. If you use any other delimiter, you can mention it here. And then here we have used this for each and for off loop to iterate through each record which we get from this parse function as array of objects, and for each row our test block is going to get executed. So if you have 20 records, so this single test will get executed 20 times. So now that's it from my end. You can click onto this first card to go to the next video. You can click onto the second card to access the whole Playwright tutorial playlist, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. If you have any comments, questions or doubts, you can let me know into the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.